All right, so today we're opening a Spider-Man collector booster box, which thanks to my friends over at Game Escape and Hilo, I got this at approximately MSRP. All right, this one came with a really nice buy a box promo, the foil Spider Sense here, which I mean with web slinging for one blue and the ability to counter an instant sorcery or triggered ability, I think that this is going to end up seeing a fair handful of play. In a lot of decks, the ability to return a tap creature to your hand is actually a plus rather than a detraction. Okay, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this bad boy open. Start recording? Yes, I did. Perfect. All right. Go ahead and rip off the cellophane. Mr. Cellophane, can you bend my name? Sometimes I feel like that song. It's my song, Mr. Cellophane, about feeling like you're invisible sometimes. All right. Well, let's see. These ones all have Gwen Stacy, the Ghost Spider on the top. Really nice card art. Uh, I don't actually know the character. I was a huge fan of Spider-Man for years and years and years. Fell off, gosh, I don't even know when. Sometime after Ezekiel started showing up. I thought that he was an interesting character, but then the whole idea of Spider-Man being magically powered instead of result of the radiation from the spider that I don't know. I think that detracted from the whole thing, especially since we've actually seen one other character who got powers from being bitten by a radioactive animal, and I don't mean Spider Ham. I mean Wes Cassidy, who showed up in a 1988 comic. He was in Kansas or something, where Peter Parker had gone out to look for another job as a chemist because he was feeling kind of down that MJ was making so much more money than him. And so he went out there and ended up running into this guy who had been bitten by a radioactive jackrabbit that escaped from a lab. And so he gained jackrabbit powers, which include incredible leg strength and running speed and jumping and stuff. And something like the spider sense, he could sense when the eyes of a predator were on him, was the explanation. We only saw him in one issue, I think, in like 1988. But that that whole story there kind of destroys the idea that um, everyone's like a spider avatar or something. It ruins the idea that they're special. But at the same time, it also implies that whatever accident gave Spider-Man his powers could apply to other people as well. All right, enough yakking. Let's get to the cards. You guys aren't here to hear me yammer about Wes Cassidy and old Todd McFarlane characters. All right, so speaking of Todd McFarlane, the big one that I'm looking for here is actually the Venom Skrillex, which is just such a beautiful card. Venom has always been one of my favorites. All right, so we've got, oh, the nice little Halloween one of Spidey giving out treats and stuff. Cute art card. Okay, let's see what we got. We've got a Common Crook, which creates a treasure when it dies. Too bad it's a human that could easily go into my Chaos deck. We've got the Common Spider-Man. We've got the Guy in the Chair. Is it? Is it weird to anyone else that he looks like the guy from the Marvel, the MCU Spider-Man movies, but he's talking to Miles here? I can't quite make out the art, but it kind of looks like he's talking to the Peter Parker version of Spider-Man. I don't know. All right, we got the Eerie Gravestone, the Alchemax Slayer bots, Prowler, Clawed Thief. That was Miles Morales, Spider-Man's uncle, right? And that Prison Break. I love seeing how the Rhino just blasting out of there. Robotics Mastery. Hey, speaking of Ezekiel, I mentioned it before. Interesting character. Ooh, we got that nice webby mountain. I'm gonna set that one aside. All right, first rare in here is Lady Octopus, Inspired Inventor. I don't know the backstory on this character. Can anyone tell me about her? I mean, I know I saw her on the Spider-Verse movie, but aside from that, I've got no idea anything about her. Okay, we got the classic hiding on the ceiling. Nobody looks up. That's something my dad taught me actually because he was an arborist. He was always looking up at trees, and he told me that no one ever bothers to look up, which means he gets to see a lot of things that no one else sees. Okay, we've got the web of life and destiny. Okay, we got Skrillex. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my chase card in the very first pack. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh man. I'm gonna show this off so much. Finally, strength of will. I gotta be honest, I really wish this one had the Bloomborough art though. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Okay, so I got my chase card. That's the end of the stream. Thank you guys. Now let me see if I've got a top loader for this bad boy. Right. If you're joining us on TikTok, if you're joining us on TikTok, then I apologize. I can't see any of your comments or anything. Look at that though. Look at that. There's right off the bat is the Venom Skittles, which is the one card that I was looking for. So let's save that one for later. But if you're over in TikTok joining us, you can also join in the fun on Twitch, twitch.tv/ Alolan underscore professor. And that chat I do get to look at. All right. Next one here. I mean, I already got Skittles, so what else am I even doing here? I don't know. Someone tell me what else is good in this set. Am I going to get Fleeman here? Is Fleeman this pack? I got a food token. All right, very traditional New York style hot dog with the sauerkraut and the mustard. There was and Spidey in the background. There was actually a comic that I really enjoyed about Spidey hanging out with Loki, and because I I forget what the context was. I think Loki was upset that like some chaos goddess or something liked Spidey more than he liked her, or more than she liked him, and he thought it was really rude that he was a god of chaos and the goddess of chaos liked Spidey more. But Spidey took him out for a hot dog, and it really he didn't really know what to make of it because that's not exactly the sort of food you'd find in Asgard. Then again, I mean, sausage is one of those northern European things. All right, the other side is a 1/1 flying robot. That's one of the spider slayers. Those nice thematic spider killing robots built specifically to kill Spider-Man, which I believe were funded by J. Jonah Jameson. Okay, we got a romantic rendezvous. Merciless enforcers, a bunch of sort of generic villains here. Web Up, Steel Wrecking Ball, which unfortunately is not being wielded by the Absorbing Man, who was one of my favorite characters for a long time. We got a Sinister Hideout. Oh, I can see Doc Ock right there. You guys see him hiding out there in the back? All right, the superior foes of Spider-Man. Spidey's had a lot of pretty lame characters who have teamed up to fight him in the past. Okay, Craven, Proud Predator. He is dead, and so are the ratings for his movie. But his mentor showed up very, very briefly, never in Spider-Man comics as far as I'm aware, but he showed up in Khazar of the Savage Land. Specifically, he was hired to go and kidnap Khazar's son. Is it Khazar or Khazar? I don't know. I don't think they've ever made a movie. I don't expect they ever will. Scarlet Spider Kane. All right. Is this the same Kane who was the failed first clone of Spider-Man before Ben Riley showed up? Yeah, that's the other one I'm looking for. Ben Riley. I love Ben Riley. Okay, I got Spider, piloted by Penny, which a couple of my friends have been very interested in. Oh, this is one of the diorama ones, isn't it? We'll set that aside and see if we can finish the whole thing. We got that beautiful webbed planes. We got the ultimate Green Goblin. Mary Jane Watson, our human performer. Whenever spider you control enters, draw a card. It seems kind of weird this would be specifically for spiders. I mean, like, Mary Jane wouldn't have any interaction with, like, Shelob or whatever. Why isn't it heroes? Huh? We got Venom, Deadly Devourer. Another Venom, good for us. That's the one from the big scene thing. Oh, we got a Mindbreak Trap with Mysterio, and illustrated by Todd McFarlane, who I was just talking about earlier. And then Mr. Negative, no, that isn't a camera issue. He's really like black and white backwards. I saw somebody color corrected this, and despite the fact that everything else came out normal, his hands stayed in black and white, and it's kind of weird. All right, let's go on to pack number 3. All right. I love you, random citizen. I expect that in the various Marvel sets, we're going to see a lot of human citizens. That's not necessarily a bad thing. A nice treasure token. One of my issues as a young autistic kid was that when I wanted to play with my action figures, I didn't have a bunch of like civilians for the villains to threaten or heroes to rescue. Okay, let's get this thing to focus. There we go. We got the venomized cat. Yeah, I mean, I like the nice amount of venom stuff that we're getting in here. Amazing acrobats. News helicopter. Interesting that it's a creature and not a vehicle. Spider Gwen, the common version. Swarm, being of bees. I think he's in the main Marvel universe, right? He doesn't have anything to do with Spiders Man. Alright, Sandman's Quicksand. Better than Sandman's Slow Sand. Alright, Rhino. Boy, Rhino is expensive. 7 mana for, I mean, he's a 6/7 with Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. I guess if you're playing like a really heavy ramp deck, this would be decent. Alright, Living Brain. Mechanical Marvel. I don't remember even seeing anyone talk about that. Spider Bite. Virtual Hero. Oh, is there a really pretty one of these lands in every pack? Oh, hey, we got Miles Morales. Oh, we got the Miles Morales Modal Dual Face card. The one that we can cast is either its front side or its back side and has Transform. They actually had to change the rules of Transform in order to make these couple of cards work. I got a post about that on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram that talks about it a little bit. But bottom line up front, um, buy Moon Mist. Okay, we got an extra Spider Sense. That's good. Like I said, that's definitely going to see play. We've got Carnage, Crimson Chaos. Carnage was... I like symbiotes. Carnage was never one of my favorites. We've got Mystic Confluence with the cover of one of those old Marvel Secret Wars on it. The first introduction of the black suit. And I think the only time in the entire thing where we get to see any of the other Marvel characters in the background. I actually have a copy of this comic laying around somewhere. And a second Mary Jane Watson. All right. Pack number 3. Oh, wait, no, this is number 4, isn't it? 3 is a quarter, 4 is a third. I can do math. I'm good at math. Okay, we got our art card. We got Moorland, the interdimensional spider-eating vampire. Did it ever get explained why they specifically go after spiders? I mean, like you said, there is that rabbit guy. If there's and Ezekiel talked about there being like avatars, as if there were avatars for most kinds of animals. So there should be an ant man that actually has the power of ants, and a whale man with the power of whales and stuff. So why just spiders? All right, we got the Oscorp research team. I always like seeing human scientists because I am one. We got the Angry Rabble. This guy's wearing a Spider-Man t-shirt with like duct tape crossing it out. He paid for this merchandise and then just so that he could deface it. It's like those guys that used to buy up tons of Coors Light or whatever and dump it to show the libs. Vibrant Cityscape. Okay, so this is another Evolving Wilds variant, which, if you're starting out and need lots of cheap search lands for your commander deck or something, this is solid. Okay, we got another Venomized cat. Look, it's playing with its food. Poor little mousy. We got a Suburban Sanctuary. I almost just wish this one included the scene of Spidey dragging Wolverine down the street, yelling at him never to visit him at home. Okay, we got Scorpion, Seething Striker. We got the costume closet. We got lots of costumes in here, but I don't see any sign of my favorite ones. The Identity Crisis ones from the late 90s, early 2000s, where he took on four different identities at the same time, like Prodigy, who was just a strong man, and Ricochet, who was bouncy and stuff. Okay, we got Madam Web, Clairvoyant. We got the Green Goblin, Revenant. So we've got two Green Goblins. We got a Swamp now. Okay, so we're getting these on. That Swamp one actually looks really nice. Okay, we've got the 2099 Miguel O'Hara. Now, here's a fun little factoid. One of my last articles I wrote for the Gamer was a guide for Spider-Man 2099, and I wrote the wrong guide because, there are two Spider-Man 99s, maybe more, I forget, but they want a guide for this one. I ended up writing one for the Is It one, and so I got just slightly chewed out for that, but it turns out that by the time I finished it, there was way more interest in the Is It version than in this one. Okay, we got another Ultimate Green Goblin. This one's bigger and greener, more ultimate. We got Peter Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. Hey, we do got an upside down card in here. I saw people complaining about the quality assurance and upside down cards. I didn't really expect to find one. All right, a nice Feed the Swarm, always a solid card to have. Good commander staple. And oh no, we got the Parker Luck. All the rest of these are going to be junk. Oh, you know what? No. Parker Luck? Here, I know what the other card is I'm looking for in here today. I'm looking for that Infinity Stone. I'm looking for the Soul Stone. I love that full art one that's just the stone. That is absolutely gorgeous. Imagine, imagine Thanos if he had to open packs in order to get the Infinity Stones. Just going out and raiding all of the game stores and cracking all these packs, and then finally, no, I've got two Soul Stones now. A nice robot here. Really nice shock. So I kind of like it when they reprint sort of staple cards like this in Universes Beyond, because if I really wanted to build a Spider-Man themed or a Marvel themed deck, it's nice to have options that, are already out there. Shock's a good one. Feed the Swarm's a really good one. Professional Wrestler. Hey, is Dork in here? No, I don't see him. Dang. All right, Dork, this is for you. I love you. All right, Risky Research. If you're not following Dork for Short on Twitter and on Twitch, make sure that you find him. Okay, we got a Mob Lookout. An amateur hero, some kid in a Spidey suit who built himself a set of Doc Ock arms. Well, we got the uncommon MJ. Oh wait, this is the. Are these the? This is from the starter set, right? The starter pack. Okay, we got a Rhino's Rampage. Chameleon, Master of Disguise. There's a character I don't think's ever been well adapted into the into movies. Shriek, Troublemaker. Troublemaker, that's brilliant. Oh, is she a mutant? I didn't know they had ever actually explained her powers. She's Carnage's wife. Self-proclaimed. He played along because it was fun. Spider Sense again. Peter Parker's camera. Dang, that almost looks like it's capturing that scene right there. Pumpkin bombs, another one from that diorama. Oh, hey, we got ourselves a wedding ring. Nice. I don't know if I had one of those. And the extended art borderless Craven the Hunter. Very nice. All right, pack number 6, halfway there. See, they use the orange foil on these again. The orange foil is, I think, is the one that has a habit of getting clear over time. All right. Looks like we got double side one back there. We got a spider and treasure token. Set the tokens aside. Spectacular Tactics with Spider Woman. Electro's Bolt. Unstable Experiment. That's Norman Osborn. You know, the last time I looked at the art, I thought that that was Dr. Connor. Okay, we got Scout the City here. We got a Spider Bot. I got Hobgoblin, Mantled Marauder. Oh, all kinds of weird stories behind Hobgoblin. I don't think that they ever actually revealed his identity properly. Like, the author who created him was leading up to one thing, but ended up having some beef with Marvel Comics, so they fired him and said, screw that, we're going to do something else because we don't like the guy. Okay, we got another Madame Web, another Scorpion. I'm reminded this is a pretty small set. Oh, Spider's Man. You can play with Wasp or whatever. That's an island. Okay, we've got a complete set of those. Sandman, Shifting Scoundrel. A nice villainous Wrath. When did they start making Doc Ock all muscular and stuff? I think he was just chubby before, right? Oh, we got the imposter syndrome meme. We've got a Master Weaver, which is, who is it? Arasta of the Endless Web. And, oh, the transforming Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn one side and Green Goblin on the other side. Oh, this is Fleam, right? This is the Universes Beyond version of Fleam. Okay, let's put that down. All right. So far, my favorite pull is still Skittles, but like I said, that was the one I came in here looking for in the first place. All right. Oh my gosh, they make these packs robust. We got a human citizen and another treasure token here. I like the treasure tokens. I wish that these were more treasure food tokens. Those are my favorite because they end up going with just about every deck in one way or another. Of course, we got Thwip and Whoosh. I'm looking for a Bam and a Pow. Stegron, the Dinosaur Man. Who is... I don't know nothing about Stegron. What even universe is he in? I mean, Marvel universe, obviously. But is this a Peter Parker villain or a Miles Morales villain? Or I know Mayday Parker, when they did Spider-Girl, she had a villain that showed up a couple times that was Dragon King, and he looked kind of like this, except with a bigger head. Scorpion Sting. Oh my God, this is the sound effect pack. We got Thwip, Kapow, Whoosh. I really want to know if these cards were originally planned for the set or if they just sort of added them after the fact, because I know that they had almost double the size of it, sort of last minute. Alright, web shooters. Grendels, Braun of Knoll. Okay, this is the Symbiote Dragon villain with it's just a 3/3 with flying and death touch. Nothing super special. I mean, maybe we'll find home in a Symbiote tribal deck, but that's all I can see with it. Sudden Strike. Ah, oh, poor Black Cat. Okay, Spider Slayer, Hatred Honed. We got ourselves another island, and it looks like a long one. Maximum Carnage. One of my earliest exposures to Spider-Man was the Maximum Carnage video game on the Sega Genesis. I had the red cartridge and everything. I'm I'm not sure if I ever beat it. I think I may have beaten it once. It was a really hard game. You can find a couple of playthroughs floating around, but it was tough. Eventually, I found the comic series. My sixth grade history teacher was selling comics for like $1 each, and I managed to pick up almost all of Maximum Carnage. I think I missed two issues, like number 7 and number 14, so I didn't actually get to read the ending. Okay, we got another Spider-Ham. It's actually the same print that we got down here. We got Jackal, Genius Geneticist. 1/1 trample. Whenever you cast a creature spell with a mana value equal to Jackal's power, copy that spell, except it copy isn't legendary. Then put a 1/1 counter on Jackal. This could be a lot of fun. You just have to keep on like scaling power. But then again, it's in Simic, so it's going to have access to all that wacky ramp options. Ooh, nice Parallel Lives. That's actually a really nice Parallel Lives. Dang. I've got several decks that need a copy of this. I, I kind of wish it wasn't Spider-Man, but it is nice. Oh, and then the nice foil Carnage. So this is the Carnage sound effect pack. Alright, let's move the box out of the way, and we've got 5 more packs to open. We're still looking for Infinity Stones here. Ooh, Alright, we got a Mysterio token. It's actually kind of a cute one. Alright, we got our Spider token again. The Skyward Spider. I don't know this character. The Passenger Fairy looks like the one from looks like the one from Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man, I just saw a thing about like variants of Spider-Man, and this one panel gets replicated so much. Spider Islanders. That's the one where the Spider Cat guy came from, right? Symbiote Spawn. This is Shriek in this art. Since they didn't actually make her a legendary creature, I kind of figured they'd use some of the other symbiote spawns in here. But, what can you do? Just happy that we got a little bit of Life Foundation representation. Spider-Mobile. Somebody asked if this card was in the set, and I said, no, that's too stupid. And here it is. All right, nice, terrific team up. Spider-Man's team up comics are always great. Hey, it's Morbin time! Boy, that movie really did Morbius dirty. Sony is trying so hard to make this Spider-Verse thing work without Spider-Man, and I, I don't know how they're staying in business because it seems like every single movie is just losing money. Then again, what we end up seeing from Warner Brothers is that losing money is sometimes a good thing. They get to just do as tax write-offs, right? Maybe that's their business plan is make bad movies, get tax write-offs. Wait a second, wasn't that the theme of the producers and also of um, the Lobster Man from Mars? Okay, we got Craven's Last Hunt. We got the Shadow of the Goblin. Oh, we got the Green Goblin Nemesis card. There's another part three of that diorama. We've got Doc Ock, armed and dangerous. Oh, that's Lorthos the Tidemaker. Whenever Doc Ock attacks, you may pay 8. If you do, tap up to 8 target permanents. Those permanents don't untap during the controller's next untap step. That could be fun to hold something down. And finally, Rent is Due. Stop reminding me I spent all of my money on collector boosters. All right, number 9. All right, number 9. We've already got Skittles. We're hoping for an Infinity Stone. We're hoping for the really pretty Infinity Stone. The other Infinity Stone would be okay, I guess. All right, we got who's this? Spider-Man India, the Spider-Man India. Yep. Okay, we got Electro's Bolt, which is not just Lightning Bolt. 4 damage to our creature in Mayhem. You can cast it from your graveyard for 1 and a red. If you discard it this turn, timing rules still apply. I guess I didn't want to redo Madness. Madness would have been solid here, actually. Okay, we got another Unstable Experiment. Another Scout the City. Another Spider-Bot. A Twisted Spider Clone. The Web Warriors. Kind of surprised they didn't do multiple different art treatments of this with different characters. We've got a second Spider piloted by Penny. Hey, we got Spider-Girl. Man, Spider-Girl is a character I wish that they had done much more with. I really enjoyed the Spider-Girl comics. It might be because, she was a high school student when I was in high school, so kind of had that a little bit better relationship there than with Spider-Man being a professional photographer married to a supermodel. Representation matters, people. All right, Wall Crawl. Another swamp. Yeah, I guess unlike some of the other ones, these have the full arts in every pack. Arachne, Psychic Weaver. Another Maximum Carnage. This one's the comic treatment. Oh, hey, look, we got Doppelganger in there. All right, Spinneret and Spiderling. We've got Silk Guard. Interesting. This probably has a place in my um, Walking Grave Dead. And four spider senses. Okay, we've got a playset of spider senses with the buy a box promo. All right. Here's number 10. Nice spider token. Treasure. You know, my wife, I think, is probably kind of disappointed in this set because she's a big Lord of the Rings fan. And I believe she was talking about trying to make a Shelob deck. But now all the best spiders are Spider-Man. And she really doesn't like Spider-Man. I made the mistake of taking her to see, I want to say, Spider-Man Homecoming when it first came out. And she was so upset and like grumpy afterwards, and I'm like, what's wrong? Don't like the movie? She's like, I hate Spider-Man. That was the first time I found out about that. Okay, there's the hot dog cart. Makes food tokens and mana. Another prowler. An alien symbiosis. I like it. I might use it. Flying Octobot. Heroes Hangout. What's going on in the art here? This is supposed to be sideways, isn't it? Yeah, because now we got the city on the bottom and the juice or whatever it is pouring out from gravity. Alright, nice island. Everybody's favorite storyline, the Clone Saga. Okay, we got another Arachne. We've got a nice little treatment of Black Cat. Gosh, sitting literally on a pile of cash over here. Pete married the wrong woman. Should have married Black Cat. Hey, we've got a nice Terminate. The one from Mark Bagley and Randy Emberlin. Beautiful. And another Sandman Shifting Scoundrel. All right. Pack number 11. We're almost done here, guys. Got the amazing Spider-Man. Oh, hey, we've got a spam bot showing up here trying to sell me some viewers. Yeah, no thanks. All right, so we got a nice one there. We got another eerie gravestone. Whoops, runaway gravestone. Another Oscorp Resist. Is this the same pack I had before? Another guy in the chair, another vibrant cityscape. I don't think that there's really... Oh, Savage Mansion. Okay, that's the one I haven't had before. It's enters tap, makes gruel colors, and for 4 you can surveil one. I mean, might be decent limited. Another terrific team up. Wraith, Vicious Vigilante. Vigilante. Double strike, fear gas, can't be blocked. Okay, another Scarlet Spider Kane. No Ben Riley yet. 2 Canes, though. We got Spider-Man Noir. I was just having a discussion about this guy in on Reddit the other day about how Spider-Man, like Spider-Man Noir, is really an example of how the Spider-Man set breaks the color pie because there's nothing about Spider-Man Noir that says that it should be black, except that's the color of his costume. So that like the color just doesn't fit the character is the problem. And I was like, they have to really break the color pie in order to be able to do that, or print the characters um, as as flavor only, like only slap a character on a card that has very little to do with what they do in the games or in the comics. All right, another nice mountain. A nice future flight. Another villainous wrath. Hey, we got the radioactive spider. Nice, decent ramp in a very limited format. A nice relentless assault. As another absolute staple that's going to go into some Marvel decks. This would be a really good fit for Wolverine. And then a Spider-Punk, and there's the mural one. In fact, let's go back and get Spider-Man Noir, because he's part of the mural too, right? How many is this? Is this 4 across and 3 down? These guys look like they're near the bottom. Alright, last pack. There's Unarada just showed up in chat. How you doing? You got here just in time for the last pack. It's okay though. I know Spider-Man is not your thing, and we've been kind of unlucky on here. I haven't gotten a single lizard, which I think is the only character that you'd be particularly interested in. There's even a variant version that's Peter Parker turning into the lizard. All right, so we got ourselves a nice treasure token here on the floor now. An angry rabble, startling aerial ally. Spider manifestation, kind of creepy. Spider Rex, staring dino. On Earth 66, Peter Parker learned that with with Grar power comes Grar responsibility. Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but okay, so he's a T-Rex, right? But his name is Peter Parker, as in pterodactyl. Um, if I remember correctly, he was actually a pterodactyl who accidentally swapped bodies uh, with the T-Rex that was like the Norman Osborn type character. All right. The Ominous Asylum. There's Ravencroft Institute. A little bit different from Arkham. It's Morbin time! Again. It's a second Morbius here. Alright, second Craven Proud Predator, third Craven total. Some more of the superior foes of Spider-Man. Another hobgoblin. Another of these really nice swamps. Look at that. I love those. Okay, now we're on to the rares and stuff. We've got our Rocket Power Goblin Glider. Not quite as cool as the Rocket Power Turbo Slug, but that's never going to get printed, right? Oh, along with the rabble here, we've also got the cheering crowd. Oh, at the beginning of each player's first main phase, that player may put a 1/1 counter on this creature. If they do, they add one colorless mana for each counter on it. Oh, okay. So this is nice for a group hug deck. You can put out there, and your opponents can keep on making it bigger and getting mana for free. By the time it comes around to you, you should be getting some decent mana. All right, hey, we did find Lizard. We found a nice borderless version. For 4 mana, he's a 5/5 with Trample, a Lizard villain. With Lizard formula, when this character enters, up to one other target creature loses all abilities and becomes a green lizard creature with base power and toughness 4/4. He's contagious. All right, he's going to turn others into lizards now. Okay, hey, we got another nice Todd McFarlane. We got a Savage Beating. Only during your turn and only during combat. Creatures you control gain double strike, or untap all creatures you control after this phase. There's an additional combat phase, plus entwine. So for 7 mana, you get to do both. That's another really, really solid, good one to have. And remember, this is Todd McFarlane, the first guy to draw Venom. So, yeah, this was before they did the whole, like, big slimy tongue whipping out all over the place thing. And hey, there we go. Very last one. Scarlet Spider, Ben Riley. That's something. All right. Ben Riley is, to this day, my favorite Spider-Man. The story there was that the writers thought that Peter Parker was getting a little bit too tied up with baggage with his relationship with Mary Jane, her pregnancy, and all that stuff. And so they wanted to reset, and they figured, yeah, Spider-Man as like a single carefree bachelor was the best version. So Ben Riley, who had previously been shown to be killed by Spider-Man or in combat with Spider-Man, an earlier one, came back uh, as the Scarlet Spider, ended up taking over the mantle of Spider-Man for a while. Once they found out that Ben Riley was the real Peter Parker and the one we'd been following was just a clone um, who they had both been convinced was the real one. Uh, Peter Parker retired, moved away, I think. Ben Riley took over, had a young, swinging bachelor Spider-Man again. But people really didn't like that, so about that time they brought Norman Osborn back and killed off Ben Riley. During this time, we also had one of the coolest versions of the Lizard, which was a much more savage version. Uh, Unlike the regular Lizard, couldn't talk or anything because it was actually Connors had been experimenting with the formula again and had uh, managed to like cut off his arm, and then a full lizard regrew from his arm. So it didn't have like any of his intelligence or anything. It was just a feral lizard running around. And it decided that his wife was pretty cute and wanted to hook up with her. All right, so that's pretty much all we got. I got 2 of my 3 chase cards for the set. I got the Spider-Man Ben Riley, the Scarlet Spider Ben Riley in the very last pack, and I got um, the really hot Venom Skittles in the very first pack. That was, the one I was looking for the most. We didn't end up finding uh, the Soul Stone that I was looking for. In fact, we didn't find any Soul Stone in here, but we got a full play set of Spider Sense, which is good, and a lot of really pretty lands, which is good. All right. I also, but this isn't the end for Spider-Man. I also picked up an entire booster box and plus one additional pack to put in the kids' treasure box. I try to pick up a new, at least one pack from every set, and I stick one pack into his treasure box. I do that for Magic and for Pokemon. So eventually, when he decides that he wants to start playing some trading card games, he's going to have a whole big stack of packs to open. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on Twitch and on TikTok. If you weren't here for this, all right, I'm going to post it up here on YouTube just a little bit later. So hope that you catch it there. You can find me on YouTube at Alolan_Professor, the same as Twitch. And I'll see you guys later. Alola.